Welcome back, and thank you for making us part of your Friday morning. Are yours in a beat-up shoebox or meticulously labeled and filed in some sort of system? Regardless, you're going to need those receipts and tax documents soon. We're exactly 2 months from the tax filing deadline. Charlie Hyde joins us this morning with some tips to get us ready. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I've got this stack. I mean, it's just kind of grows by the week on my desk, and I think we're waiting on a few more documents. But some folks might have everything they need, and they might be ready to file.
Yeah, I would say a lot of people already have what they need, and by now you should have W-2s from your employer, 1099s, and that would be for 1099 interest from your bank, dividends, your consolidated 1099 reporting package from your brokerage if you've got one, 1099 miscellaneous, 1099 NEC, which would be if you work in the gig economy. You should have all of that. Those were all required to have been sent to individuals by the end of January. So you should have those by now. Mm-hmm. Again, the other piece that we've already talked about earlier was you should have your letter from the Internal Revenue Service if you were receiving the advanced child tax credit payments. That letter is absolutely critical for whether you're doing your own taxes or you're having a professional do them. That letter is really necessary this year. So if you don't have that, you're going to need to reach out to the Internal Revenue Service and get that, because you're going to want to have that information. And then the other one is kind of new, but it's growing. And
the cryptocurrencies?
Cryptocurrency.
Yes, absolutely. I was just noticing that on the screen there, and yep. I know that that's one that my husband has too. And I'm like, are we paying attention to this? He's like, yeah, I know. And because a lot of people are trading cryptocurrencies.
They are. And when you think about, there's no fluctuation that we have to be aware of when we're using paying for stuff with dollars. But if you pay for things with crypto, that is no different than I've sold a stock. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have a gain or loss transaction. So, basis is important. And this is a big one. And there's actually a question that has been on previous returns, but it was buried on Schedule 1. And a lot of people maybe didn't have to file Schedule 1. So the IRS has moved that to page 1 of the 1040 this year at the very top. And you're going to be required to answer yes or no to that question on if you have cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so that's a new one and growing, as you mentioned, this year. So you've got all your documents, you've gone through them, you make sure everything is accurate, now you're ready to file. Electronically really is the way to go.
More than ever. The IRS is, I can't explain how backed up they are. I mean, they're still processing paper returns from 2020, along with the millions and millions of correspondence that's out there. So if there was ever a time for you to file electronically, this is the year to do it. If you have been doing paper filings in the past, you need to have a serious look at how do I file this electronically. Mm-hmm. And that is going to ensure that your return gets processed quickly, and it's going to ensure that your refund will be direct deposited into your bank account much sooner.
Yep.
If you do need to paper file, and I really mean this, if you're going to paper file, you can't just put it in the mail. You need to send it certified. That you're protecting yourself. You have proof the date you mailed it, because once it's mailed, the day it hits the Postal Service, it's filed.
Yeah.
And then you get a card back, and you'll know when the service center received that paper filing, so you can kind of start the clock to keep an eye on when your refund is going to hit.
Yeah, you want to get it as soon as you can. And Charlie, quickly, something else we could do right now is already set ourselves up for next year.
Yep, you can set yourselves up for next year by thinking about if you have a health savings account, if you have an IRA, you should go ahead and get those funded right now. And I'm going to mention this. If you haven't hit your max funding for 2021, you still have the ability until April 18th to fund those. So if I've got room on my HSA to make an additional contribution to that, which I can take a deduction on my 21 return, you can do it. You just need to make sure when you go to make that contribution, you tell the administrator it's for the 2021 tax year.
Yeah. All right. Great advice this morning. I know nobody loves doing it except for maybe Charlie, but we got to do our taxes. We got to get filed. All right, Charlie. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.